Hello, welcome back to the Beef Medium Podcast. I'm your host, Zach, aka Snack with Zach, and I'm joined by one of the two people I share a matching tattoo with, my brother and co-host, Matt.
Who's the other person?
It doesn't matter, we don't need to go there.
Oh,
lol. SodaSeekers is on today. My friend Griffin Parker writes for Sporked and is literally a beverage expert. He undersells himself a lot.
very self-deprecating.
His knowledge of sodas goes back to 2021 when he started a Twitter page about new beverage releases. Similar to what I do with food news, we collaborate a lot, and he's got just tons of information about this stuff that you wouldn't even think about.
Yeah, we go over everything from sodas to even talking about Oreos and cotton candy for a little bit. There really isn't much he doesn't yap about.
So without further ado, please welcome Griffin Parker, aka SodaSeekers. We were just talking about something really interesting as we were getting our rosters together for today, and it was the new, quote unquote, new full sugar, real cane sugar Coca-Cola. And I was like, we were like, okay, we got a bunch of stuff to talk to Griff about, but this is something that we should just immediately talk about because I know you have thoughts. Breaking news. You're not drinking that. What are you drinking right now?
Oh, it's just cherry Coke, but just the timing on just...
You're like, I have the new cane sugar cherry Coke sourced from the United States.
What's great is I could go grab a bottle of the kosher Coca-Cola and pitch a review. I'm reviewing American-made cane sugar. No, it's... Oh, God.
What are your thoughts
without the tariffs?
It was fun watching an insane thing happen, which was the president calling a company to say, this guy who works for me is really annoying. Can you guys start making something with cane sugar? Coke saying, oh, we've been looking at bringing a cane sugar product into the wide list of things we make. That same insane president going on fake Twitter and saying, Coke is switching to cane sugar. The stock price having a little seizure, and Coke having to come out with two separate statements in the span of 72 hours that the first one was,
Should I read it?
Stay tuned, because we have nothing to announce right now, but, and then the second being, we're doing something that we're not done with yet, and it will be an addition, not a replacement, and just the roller coaster of no. everything he was hoping for, no.
I have the formal statement from July 16th from Coca-Cola. It is 2 sentences. And it says, we appreciate President Trump's enthusiasm for iconic Coca-Cola brand. More details on new innovation offerings within our Coca-Cola product range will be shared soon.
Wouldn't it be crazy if the next thing they said was, and now Starlight's back at Jack in the Box?
Starlight's back at Jack in the Box. Exclusively.
That's the innovation they were talking about.
Full sugar. Now, I'm going to need you to get your hands on that, by the way, to take a little sippy sip, because Coke Starlight is one of the most... A lot of people like Coke Starlight. It's not the number one that people want back, but it was a Coke Creations flavor from, was it 2023, Griff?
2022 was the first one they did, which was a terrible choice because everyone loved it, and then every follow-up got worse and worse comparatively in people's heads. Like some of them
like season 1
This is a
Lost.
Starlight shirt, by the way.
Oh,
What is different about Starlight from regular Coke?
Coke Creations those are their special flavors that they'll do as like one-offs, not one-offs, but very limited run type stuff. It was a zero sugar flavor that was
They had a full sugar too. They had both.
Did they do both? Okay, they did both.
Yeah.
For some reason, I only thought there was a zero. What the fuck was the flavor? It was like...
Most of the Coke Creations flavors, with very few exceptions, the flavor was a vibe. So for Starlight, it was space flavored. It was allegedly based on flavor notes that astronauts had come up with while in space for like what space smells like. The description that I always gave for it, like I wrote this up recently, is raspberry s'mores, which does not sound instantly good, but...
This doesn't sound instantly bad. Chocolate and raspberry is a really great combination.
I kind of fuck with that.
Yeah, throw in a little marshmallow, some graham cracker.
It is so good. And they... Okay, Zach, you might know this. Which recording artist owns Staple?
Chris Stapleton. It is not Chris Stapleton.
I was going to say, that's another patented
Vince
deadpan
Staples.
Zach joke. Oh, I'm going to be a bad guest and Google during the podcast.
It's okay. Matt fact checks things regularly while we're on the air.
Oh, good.
I'm the man in the chair.
Yeah, Matt's the man in the chair. So we say something and we're like,
Jeff Staple.
I don't know who Jeff Staple is, and a lot of people are going to be pissed.
I want to say there's like a bunch of artists are involved. Anyway, when they launched Starlight, they did a collaboration with Staple where they did all kinds of stuff, and I got the shirt and the bomber jacket, which is, if it wasn't so like swishy, it's that windbreaker material. Horrible for recording, but it looks it's nuts. It's so insane.
Griffin, your like wardrobe of food related items is like Tyler's is good, Tebow's is good, but yours is like unreal. So Griffin always has a very thematic outfit. I like how you also have the Newman's Own hat on.
I mean,
right now,
oh yeah, and this is new. Like this is legit, like the nicest like promo hat I've ever gotten. I don't deserve this. This is way too nice.
What did they release that came with?
It would be Paul Newman's 100th birthday this year if he lived to be 100. So they're doing all kinds of throwback stuff, promotions. The box this came with a replica bottle of the very first batch of the first dressing, which Newman's Own started when Paul Newman just made this salad dressing and like gave it to his friends.
Yep.
And it turned into enough of a thing that then they started selling it. Then they started donating all the money. So yeah, they sent me this like replica bottle and then also a box of microwave popcorn and a hat, which is a great combination, truly.
Do you know what the original salad dressing was for Newman's Own? What flavor it was?
Oh, it's just like oil and like it's super generic. Like it's a very early, like I mostly engage with Newman's Own and their pasta sauce because their saccharini is my favorite jarred pasta sauce of all time, which is a sentence that I've said like 4 times in the last week for some reason.
Hashtag not sponsored. Well, Newman's Own is the story behind that is also fascinating too. I didn't realize until last year that they were 100% a charitable organization. Like all of the proceeds from the sales of Newman's Own products go to it's fighting child hunger, isn't it?
The first run of products they did made $300,000, and Paul Newman was like, well, I don't need that. So what if we just give it all away? And now give it all away is their long-running slogan that they've just attached to everything. I'm shocked it's not on the back of the hat.
Paul Newman go.
A rich person realizing they have enough and then giving it away?
I didn't know it was possible. Who knew? So I've been getting emails from them on the campaign they're running, and I just got one that references Owen Wilson, which is obviously the best email of the week, where it was they just mentioned 2 celebrities who've worked with Paul Newman, and they have quotes in this email about how influential Paul Newman was to them because of his philanthropic work. That was a tough one.
Philanthropic.
And Owen Wilson talked about working with Paul Newman on Cars. Because Paul Newman voiced Doc in Cars. There we go. That was it.
And I forget that Owen Wilson voiced. Why am I Lightning McQueen? Yeah, he's the Lightning McQueen. That's such a great movie, dude.
If you looked at a picture of the main cast of Cars, like actually standing next to it, it would be so confusing. I don't think there's a world where Larry the Cable Guy should ever stand near Paul Newman. Like that just feels wrong.
Have you guys seen the extended lore of the Cars universe? Where they've obviously there's like the discourse online where they're like, oh, there's a Cars Pope and there's a Cars Pope mobile, which means someone had tried to assassinate the Pope.
There's Cars TSA, which means
there was a car 911. But now even though the movies have stopped, they've continued updating the yearly like race stats online. And so there's still cars winning these races, and there's like this very deep lore. There's also like a super deep lore around the Incredibles that just came out recently. I think it's like bonus content on the original Blu-ray, but like
the interviews with the heroes that are dead now, and like someone pulled I think the Gazer Beam one and realized like, oh, he's like a jackass.
Yeah, he's like Homelander.
He's not a good dude at all.
Or Omni-Man, or like any of those
so
guys.
Out of the loop on this. Say what you will about Disney, the lore behind Pixar and the way it all connects is really something fascinating. The level of effort they put into building these things out is really cool. So you were just in Disney though, Griff.
I was. I even saw in the Pixar Plaza, they have a in-universe Edna Mode fashion exhibit where they have a bunch of human-sized costumes from the movie on display in mannequins.
I would buy that.
The Mr. Incredible V1 suit looks spectacular. Crazy how much better it looks than the suit he actually wears. The blue one with the black.
Yeah.
Way better. That's the suit that you bag Elastigirl in. The later one, nah, dude, nah.
Young Mr. Incredible was a stud. He was a good-looking guy.
Yeah, I got time.
But yeah, the interviews at the beginning of The Incredibles, all his interviews, and then he gets worn down with children, which is what happens.
As one does. And this is part of your larger trip in Orlando, right? So you also hit Universal too. You went to the How to Train Your Dragon world, and I'm so jealous of that. It looked fucking fantastic. Everything I've seen online of that looks magical.
If I've done anything, I think it's convince you that you have to find an excuse to go to Orlando, which, by the way,
I'll go anytime.
I've already given you, because you gotta just go get saucy.
Yes, so KFC, for context, has a spin-off restaurant called Saucy down in Orlando is one of them. And Saucy it's 16 to 20 different sauces or something like that are unique to that location, or at least it takes a couple of the KFC ones and does it up. I was supposed to go down in, I think, May or April or June, but I had a scheduling conflict with a shoot. Somehow it took me to North Carolina and I went to Cookout. That was the whole thing. But yeah, I mean, Saucy's there. Where's the Coca-Cola? That's Atlanta. That's Orlando.
Atlanta.
If the World of Coca-Cola is the store with the tasting experience, there's 3 or 4. There's one in Vegas. There's the big one in Atlanta, which is the one you should go to. And there's one in Disney Springs, which is in Orlando. Inside of Epcot, there is a spot called Club Cool where they have a miniature version of the tasting thing, where it's only 6 flavors, but that one's free. So every time I go through Epcot, which is twice in the last 8 months, which is more than I expected, for somebody who's never done Disney before those 8 months at all, I take people in because they have Beverly, and they don't have the worst soda I've ever had, though they've had something very close, which is a sour plum. It's not Fanta, but the worst soda I've ever had is sour plum Fanta. So I just have that and go, barbecue sauce soda. I hate it.
Oh, that's what the flavor profile was barbecue sauce?
When they say, it's sour plum, like expired, like fermented, that's what you're going for on purpose. Okay. It's not good. No, it's bad.
Is it one of those flavors that's like number one flavor in whatever country it's from too, where it's folks just love it?
I'm sure it's popular enough because the flavor profile, it's not only the Fanta. There are other sodas that have that flavor, so they just have bad taste. I don't know how else to explain it. It's so bad.
What else would you say are the other worst sodas you've had aside from those two? What is in your bottom 5?
I asterisk this because the thing that we
we're going to disagree on this. I know exactly
both learned in this job, this fake internet job that we have. Sometimes you meet very nice people who make products you don't like. So, Perfy is one of the gut health, low sugar.
Oh yeah,
good for you sodas.
Oh, the Olipop,
this
one of those.
Is diabolical.
Yeah. So Perfy, the guy that runs the company, is very nice. I've talked to him multiple times. They make good soda. Their cherry cola and their Dr. Perfy, their pepper soda alike, fantastic. Actually very good. Their Dr. Perfy is the best non-Dr. Pepper I've ever had. Better than Diet, better than Zero Sugar, of the actual brand. Theirs is the best. That being said, they made a pepperoni pizza soda a few months ago, and it was horrible. Of course, it was so bad. It was the worst thing. I have to put the giant asterisk. I like these people, and they do good work. However, they also do the worst thing I've ever had, which is pizza soda.
Pepperoni pizza flavored soda. What is the flavor profile of that even amount to?
Yeasty and Italian seasoning.
Yeasty.
Yeah.
Nothing like carbonated yeast and oregano.
Carbonated yeast and oregano.
Exactly what it was.
They were supposed to send me that, and they never did. As I think about it.
You didn't miss much. I think they realized afterwards
they flew too close to the sun.
This was going to be their introduction to a lot of people, and it was negative. and maybe that wasn't the right move. Because like I saw the dude commenting on reviews, and he seemed like he was like legitimately surprised. Like, oh wow, like you really didn't like it. It's like, did you make it because you thought it was good?
I was gonna say you can't tell me that was something that they were excited about genuinely from a flavor standpoint.
They might have been so excited that they got it correct. Like this may have been the like our scientists were so preoccupied whether or not they could.
They should.
Yeah, because it was so. I was hoping to just add to my pizza-flavored beverage collection because I've had the pizza soda, and then Voodoo Ranger did a collab with Tombstone Pizza last year, where they did a pizza IPA, which, gross. Sounds terrible. I'm in.
See,
Voodoo does some crazy collabs.
Voodoo does do some crazy collabs. One thing I will say about Voodoo is they did, I don't know if they still make them, but they did a mango habanero sausage, I think I don't know if it was Whole Foods or something like that, but it was fucking delicious. Sausage. So it was Voodoo Ranger.
Just making sure
infused.
I heard that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was really good. But I tried from Boston Beer Company, I think it was Harpoon, did a hell of a good French onion dip IPA, and it was actually, as somebody who doesn't drink a lot of beer, because I don't really like beer. I like sours, but I don't really like beer. It was surprisingly way better than I thought, and I drank the whole thing.
That's
French onion dip beer.
Honestly, I find like I finished it is such a telling note for any review because like I get so much stuff in the mail. I have to assume you get just so much stuff in the mail.
Oh, yeah.
So when something actually is like, oh, I'm cleaning the plate or like I'm downing it's actually that's a testament to something. I don't know
100%.
what.
You're totally right. We got the Stranger Things cookies in the other day, and I had I think 3 over the course of a day or two. My dad, who supposedly doesn't like chewy Chips Ahoy cookies, ate the entire pack in less than 24 hours. It got to the house at like 3 or 4 p.m. and by 2 p.m. the next day, it was completely done. It was empty and it was in the trash.
You know, the pack I got was like super melted. People have eaten all of the pieces they can get. Now it's just there's like 3 melted together. Like no one wants to like commit to 3 cookies in one bite, except for me. I'll do it.
I'll do it. We'll go halvesies.
That happens with any. That's how I know whether the new Oreo is good. Is like we always get the pack early, and like I grab a couple because I'm usually writing up a review, and then it sits on top of the fridge, and I just see like, okay, how's the supply? The blueberry pie ones got obliterated so fast. They're so blue.
Matt doesn't know. I don't know, Matt. How do you feel about Oreos? Are you an Oreo person at all? Do you care?
I like Oreos. You know, I'm not going out of my way to like find every single flavor. One of the go-to snacks I get for Liz is double stuffed Oreos that she can dip in like peanut butter.
This is great.
Interesting.
Interesting. Peanut butter, huh?
Is there a double stuffed peanut butter?
No. How does she feel about Reese's?
Good.
Is she home?
Is she home? She is.
You should ask.
Do you want me to ask her really quick?
I want you to ask. Okay, Matt's gonna go ask Liz. All right, what's the verdict, Matt?
The verdict was a surprisingly nuanced answer. So she loves a Reese's, but specified that the Easter Reese's chocolate bunny is the top tier of the Reese's options.
Okay, this is official word from Liz. Well, the reason why we bring it up is because it must have been 10 plus years ago. There was a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup Oreo. And in August, there will be a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup Oreo returning to stores, as well as an Oreo flavored Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. It's a very big collab, at least in our world. I love how he's not excited. He's like
seeing the thought bubble like, how does that work? Are they putting a Reese's in the cookie or?
Well, this is making me think about how you had the like cinnamon toast crunch bacon, and then you had the bacon cinnamon toast crunch.
Well, there was pizza cinnamon toast crunch, and that's why I wanted to get the Perfy, because my plan was to capitalize on the disgustingness of both products and put the Perfy inside the fucking cereal and eat it with the cereal. That's what I wanted to do, and it was all banking on Perfy sending me that soda, and they didn't. So I eventually threw it out.
Rightfully so. The Oreo Reese's cup will be, so their Halloween cups they've been doing recently, the top half of the milk chocolate is a white chocolate that's like a colored spooky cream. So they're doing that this time, which is weird because Oreos are not chocolate cream. They're chocolate cream chocolate, but whatever. So it's going to be top half white chocolate, and then in the peanut butter, there's going to be Oreo cookie crumbles. Ooh,
Yeah, dude.
And then the Reese's Oreo will be standard chocolate cookies with a peanut butter cream, also with cookie crumbles, which I don't understand because it's already an Oreo, but more power to you.
Interesting. Well, the most Oreo, or it's not called that anymore. What is it? The Oreo Max, whatever the big mega
stuff.
Oreo.
Loaded?
No, Oreo loaded. So there is
Yeah.
mega stuff, but a couple of years ago, Oreo had released what's called the most Oreo. It was an Oreo with an Oreo cookies and cream flavored cream, and it was super thick, like really thick.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a
Looks like a
double
whoopie
stuffed
pie.
plus.
Yeah, dude, it was it
Yes.
was divine. I loved it.
So
People were
good.
like, "Oh, it's boring, whatever." It's just, but it was really, really good. And I guess other people really fucked with it because they brought it back this year. I don't think anybody realized that it's the same Oreo, but the loaded Oreo is the most Oreo.
Yeah.
It's the same thing
And
with
then
the cookie crumbles in it.
I've seen it regularly, so I'm wondering if that's going to be a quiet.
Oh, that was in the
Permanent
January
edition?
launch of the Oreo releases when they did that whole portfolio update. That was
Yeah.
one of them, and I was like, "Bro, they brought back the most Oreo, which is low key one of my favorite Oreos of all
make a big
time."
deal.
The problem with
Oh,
Oreos,
so-
man, is I just could eat them like crazy. So I'm like, I gotta have one or two.
Oh, the problem with Oreos is they're too yummy.
They
too
are.
Good.
I haven't had the blueberry pie ones yet.
Did they
have
not
graced my
work?
palate.
Oreos originally created as like a health aid or a digestive aid.
Were they?
I'm pretty sure like the original Oreo had like
Are we getting into the Hydrox
This
thing
is
now?
where we do it. This is exactly what we
Hydrox
do.
versus Oreos. Yeah, I think that was it, right?
Hydrox was the
Google.
original. That the brand still exists, and I wish them all the best in the world. Truly.
I wish her well.
I hope you're not mixing up Oreos with cornflakes because that's a very different
Cornflakes.
story.
Cornflakes.
Cornflakes.
Oh no.
Oh God.
So
Why am I
cornflakes were invented by a pastor because he thought if boys were eating cereal, they wouldn't be touching their bits. Yep.
I'm never eating a cornflake again. Not because of that.
Your priorities are very strong, okay?
I don't know if I trust his logic.
Reddit NoFap brought to you by cornflakes.
I want to verify this, but I'm.
You know what's going to happen is if that is in
90
fact the case, that's totally going to end up being a health thing in like 3 or 4 years again. It could totally hit one of those subreddits 100%.
The homeschool moms are going to be like, I switched my kids to cornflakes. in the morning."
No degenerate tendencies here.
I'm seeing like because Google AI, because they shove the AI down your throat no matter what, says that it's a misconception. But there was an article below it where he was basically like, there are certain flavors that if you eat them, they will increase your sexual desire, and cornflakes are plain. And so you won't get horny while eating cornflakes.
So no aphrodisiac cereals is what I'm hearing.
I mean, he's right. The sentence, you won't get horny while eating cornflakes, is a factual statement, and I think it should start appearing on the boxes.
What is this Oreo thing?
Oh, yeah. Did we figure out whether Oreos are good for you? Because Zach would love to know.
Dude, I'm on the edge of my seat.
Anyway, the best Oreo of all time was Marshmallow Moon, which they made a couple years ago for the anniversary of the moon landing. We need that back.
I
It's
never had
marshmallow
that.
flavored cream.
See, here's my
that
thing though.
sounds
Isn't that in the s'mores too supposed to be a marshmallow s'moreos?
But S'mores has the graham cracker cookies, and
Yeah.
it's got. I like the S'moreos, but like. Also,
Everybody
Marshmallow
freaks
Moon had
out
cool
about
space
the
pictures on it,
s'mores.
and it was purple. So, like,
But that wasn't Space Dunk.
no, Space Dunk is also one of the best. All the best Oreos
Dude,
are
Space Dunk,
themed.
Space Dunk fucks. I loved Space Dunk because it was cotton candy with Pop Rocks, kind of, right?
It was it was just good. I want to say they still make it internationally because I've seen it in import stores. I have a box of Chinese Space Dunk somewhere, which is the problem is it's not going to have the American sugar level. That's really what we need in
I'm
our
okay with that.
Oreos.
I feel like for most products that exist on shelves these days, and soda is one of these, we talk about this a lot, they could reduce the sugar content of these things by easily a quarter, and nobody would really care at the end of the day. It's the same thing with sodium. I'm always like, and granted, y'all know that I love my junk food, but I see some things and I'm like, do we really need 80% of your daily value of sodium in this canned soup? Does it have to be that high?
But
I
it's
mean-
soup.
Liz loves Dr. Pepper. I previously would like grab them for her if I went to the store, or just like a bottle here and there. And I looked at the amount of sugar in a bottle of Dr. Pepper. It was like something like 78% of your like daily value of sugar in just one bottle. And I was like, oh my God, that is too sweet. And Liz is like, no, it's fine.
That's why we have the magical power of zero.
So this is a bizarrely deep level question. Zach, have you gained or lost weight since eating industrial amounts of promotional food?
I have, with the caveat of...
Which one?
It's not from eating... I have gained weight. It's not from eating the food. It's from the travel, interestingly enough. So I have been
travel eating is bad for you.
That's the problem is I have been really, really consistently active since I was probably a freshman in high school. I was always kind of working out, right?
Gym boy.
And yeah, I do my best. And like through college, it was the case. Post college, even when I was living in New York, I was. And then once this page started really growing, I was doing all these trips and stuff like that this year in particular. And it was never like a massive amount of weight, for the record. It was like my muscle weight went more to just like body fat weight. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm a little bit chunkier than I was before, but it's mainly just like my stomach is kind of like had puffed out a little bit. It's because I haven't been able to work out on a lot of these trips, and I'm just like constantly like, you're in the airport, and you have to catch a flight, and it's a 6-hour flight, and you're going to get charged $20 anyway for a subpar sandwich on the airline, unless you're flying Alaska first class and you suddenly have like Michelin star meals being delivered, which is now a thing. But I'm
someone's doing Shake Shack now.
Hey,
which airline's doing Shake Shack?
Delta's doing Shake Shack on a lot of stuff, but again, you have to be in first, and so like majority of the time, I'm not flying first class, and if I get upgraded, it's usually on a city hopper, which is 45 minutes, and there's no food. So what I had realized in the past year or so is since January, I was largely on the road for weeks at a time. I'd be like 1 week on, 1 week off, 1 week on, 1 week off, and working out becomes really hard. And so you're stuck to a lot of like just quick caloric meals in airports, back and forth, and Uber Eats, and it's late at night. So long story short, yeah, I did. And it's kind of come back down as I started getting active again, but it's more so the circumstances. I've always really been good about moderation. When the Chips Ahoy cookies come in, I know serving size is 2, and I'm going to have 2, and that's usually where it'll stay.
And then they're gone, so it doesn't matter if you have any more.
Have you?
I have completely maintained, or it's gone down slightly. Now, when I started doing this, the pandemic, I was not moving at all.
Yes,
obviously, I'm now back to doing things outside. I have realized that when I was buying drinks and snacks, getting things that were full sugar, and now I get like, I don't buy really energy drinks in bulk. Caffeine doesn't do a lot for me. It's the brainworms. But like I get mailed like a lot, and because of how the market has shifted towards zero sugar, most of the stuff I drink now is zero sugar. So like my sugar intake has crashed. I've lost a little bit of weight. It's mostly maintained, but like, okay, I have my little cherry Coke, my special treat for the day.
How many grams of sugar on that?
Oh, you don't want to. 58 grams, 117% of your daily added. And it's delicious.
But would it be better with cane sugar, would you say?
So I read up on, and then we'll get back to the other thing. They've done taste tests, like blind taste tests of Coke with and without cane sugar, corn syrup. Nobody can tell. There's no difference from a taste level because it's Coca-Cola. Do you think they're going to just have 2 different formulas roaming around their global enterprise of demanding everyone on Earth drink a Coke twice a day? Like, no. It's negligible, and the difference between corn syrup and just cane sugar, the ratio of fructose to glucose is 5% different. It's not 50-50, it's 45-55. The problem is that's nothing. Like, it's a difference, and one of them is digested slightly easier, and technically speaking, cane sugar is like 5% better.
That is the glucose, right?
The problem is, it's all moderation anyway. The issue is not, we're not using cane sugar. The issue is that you're having 20 Cokes a day. Like, the issue is America eats too much sugar. Cane sugar's not the problem. There's so many horrible metaphors of just like, the problem isn't that the syringe is blue. The problem is that you're doing crack. Like, how do we... get the conversation in the right direction. And I am not Johnny Soda promoter over here. Like I am part of the issue, but also like.
Yeah, we talk about sodas and we talk about snacks. At the end of the day, it's all about literacy when it comes to nutrition, understanding it. It's the same thing about GMOs. Everybody was freaked out about GMOs 20 years ago. I got one comment from a guy, I want to say a month or two ago, about something about GMOs. And I was like, what is this, fucking 2004? Like, who's still talking about GMOs, dude? They're fine. Oh, dude, when it comes to
you should drop in a Fedra reference sometime. See how that goes.
Yeah, I know, right? But the high fructose corn syrup thing, it doesn't sit well in my stomach. That's the reality for me. But yeah, we were talking about this in Europe. They'll be like, well, Europe doesn't have high fructose corn syrup. They have glucose fructose syrup, which is very, very similar, if not the same thing. We've had Mexican Coke in the US for years. It is the exact same thing. You can buy it. It's not some new magical Coca-Cola that uses cane sugar because HFCS is bad. It's always existed. So, props to Coca-Cola for saying, hey, well, it's new. Like we said, now it avoids tariffs because we have a lot of cane sugar in the U.S.
Hey, it's wild. What we know as Mexican Coke, the bottled, Mexican Coke that is, even Coke themselves calls it Mexican Coke. That's not like an informal term. It's produced in Mexico. That's not the version of Coca-Cola that Mexicans drink. A couple years ago, because I found this out doing all this research on the cane sugar stuff, Mexico changed to, I don't think it's a corn syrup, but like they changed how they sweeten their Cokes after a food ingredient law went into effect.
Wasn't it glucose fructose?
Only produce Mexican Coke to import to America. Like, it's not what they drink. It's a product that they know there's a demand for here, but they're not allowed to sell it in Mexico because of like laws that went into effect like 10 years ago.
This is fascinating.
The fact that all this is, we're mad about an ingredient that has minimal difference to the thing that we're currently using. And we would rather have a product from another country that isn't what that country drinks. I like the whole, it's just stupid on top of stupid, and I will now open myself a zero sugar drink because life is about balance.
It reminds me of the discourse around, like, what is it, Corona, the beer? Because everyone's like, oh, I love Corona. It's like such a great Mexican beer. Nobody in Mexico drinks Corona. It's strictly imported to the U.S., and we just think like, oh, this is what they drink on the beaches of the, whatever. It's like, no.
The commercials have a beach in them. Ooh.
I thought you were going to say it was like the Corona scenario where people stopped drinking Corona when the coronavirus was...
Yeah, they changed the name temporarily on boxes just because they were like desperate.
Did they do that? I don't know if that's real.
They did a temporary rebrand.
I would just call it COVID beer. Get it over with.
Test positive for fun. Let's
go all in on it.
According to this article, sales of the beer brand went up during the pandemic. It initially went down, and then it went up because, people were like, oh my God, COVID. And then everybody got stuck inside and became alcoholics or drug addicts. And then
I kind of miss those days, though. I think about them sometimes. They were terrible, but also anything went during that time, like you could just go kind of ham.
Well, yeah.
There's no judgment.
I stopped moving. And I hung out with, obviously differently, but I hung out with people, way more. They're now, the number of Discord servers I've been, they're like, oh, right, because, during the pandemic, there was a month where we all watched all the animated Scooby-Doo crossover movies and ranked them. Yeah, I remember that. That was a good time. No, it wasn't, but it was.
I remember sitting there drinking Trulies on Trulies. I was 22 at the time, drinking Trulies on Trulies on Trulies, playing Jackbox with folks every single night, and then taking these 2 or 3 hour walks with my friends. And as really messed up as the situation was globally, and the loss of life was obviously super tragic. But if you think about it from a very localized standpoint of in your house and what it was, everything kind of slowed down for a bit. And there wasn't any pressure to do anything. Everybody was kind of in the same place. And that was a weird silver lining that hopefully we never experience again. I say as my voice is getting all sexy and raspy for some reason.
Zach's got Corona 2 right now.
Corona 2025.
The razor throat variant.
The razor throat.
Yeah.
But that was a unique experience. I wish I did TikTok back then. Do you remember just SodaSeekers was a thing when everybody was on their phones 24/7, dude?
I started it in 2021 because the other pandemic project I had started had died, and I was bored.
Was that your cotton candy business out of high school?
No. My life is just a list of failed projects until you get to the one that worked.
Hey.
So, yeah, right out of high school, I'm hanging out with my group of friends, 90% of whom worked at Taco Bell.
Oh,
because everything good comes from Taco Bell.
And
as part of that, like, one of them was like very like culinary like focused, like wanted to like move beyond Taco Bell into actual food. So like she was bringing in food that was not for Taco Bell, using Taco Bell equipment and like fryers to make food. Being very careful about allergens, whatever. Deep frying frozen Oreo churros, like doing all this crazy shit. And she ends up like doing this research and finding out, oh, you can put hard candy into a cotton candy machine and it'll produce cotton candy that tastes like the hard candy, because cotton candy mix is just flavored sugar and hard candy is just flavored sugar with some extra stuff. You can dump atomic fireballs or warheads or any hard candy that's 99% sugar into a cotton candy machine and it'll spit out cotton candy. Hooray. So she ends up being like too busy to kind of like go into that further, but me and a couple other friends in this group realized like, oh, this is interesting, and we're like, 19 and we don't know what we're doing. Let's start a business. That's a thing you can do, right? This is America, we're told. We get a cotton candy machine, and there's a company, I want to say based out of Michigan. The root beer barrels, the hard candies?
Yeah,
just like
yeah.
Root beer
I haven't
flavored,
thought about those in a while.
No one does. There's a company that produces those in like 40 flavors. If you order wholesale, they're insanely cheap, like 7 cents a piece. So I ended up reaching out to them and ordering like 20 or 30 of every flavor.
4 million.
And then we end up with a 40 flavor list of things we can turn into cotton candy. Now, there are reasons to do all of those things, because cotton candy mix is sugar and flavor and nothing else. And hard candy has other stuff in it that cotton candy machines eventually get tired of cooking through, and then they start spitting sparks instead of cotton candy at my face and genitals. And so we had to stop doing that. We broke a lot of cotton candy machines, but we did some like state fair type things. We catered some birthday parties. Like we for a year or so, it was an interesting way to lose a lot of money, because that's ultimately what it was. We did not make much money, and we spent a lot of money on cotton candy machines and supplies and setting up a bank account, which was moot because there's no money to go into it. But I will say, we were the first people to do pickle-flavored cotton candy. And a few months after we stopped, Grandpa Joe's Candy Shop, which is only like an hour from me, puts pickle cotton candy in a tub, and then it blows up, and now all these flavored cotton candy tubs are in FYE and like all these like specialty candy stores. And I'm like, if I hadn't been a stupid 19-year-old, I might have been onto something.
See, that's the things you just don't think about way back when you're a kid, because I don't want to push any conspiracy theories, but the fact that you're doing it in a business that was at least semi in the same state started doing it, it was a little sus. Because you never know who saw that and then even just like reported it back and be like, hey, this is a great idea. You should do this. Yeah. Originality. I like the way something.
We were doing it, because we would do the big cones, or we'd do like a bag with like multiple flavors for everything except pickle. The problem with the pickle cotton candy was, you're putting the hard candy in, there's residue in the bubble that you're making the cones in and in like the burner. The pickle cotton candy specifically had a way of like sticking. Like the next 3 cones you made would have a hint of pickle on the back end, which as a pickle hater is a nightmare. Oh. So instead of doing like pickles midday before the event, like as we're getting started, we would just bulk produce. We got the like little paper pickle bags. We would make all these pickle cotton candies in a row, fill the paper bags, staple them shut, and then we'd wash the machine. And then throughout the day, like, oh, you're getting a cone, we're making it fresh. If you'd like to try a pickle, it's here in a prepackaged bag. Ooh, it's not delicious at all. I will say we never had any extra. That was the one that we always managed to sell through. Thank God, because I don't know anybody who would want to eat that, when I take it home recreationally.
How much were you charging per unit?
Oh, not enough, which was the other problem. It's like we should have been going for like the boutique wedding catering like high price, and instead it was $3 for a cone, $6 for a bag, $1 for a pickle. which like for regular cotton candy makes total sense. But like, you know, we're doing apple pie, we're doing lemon lime, like, we're doing flavors nobody's ever heard of in the cotton candy world, and now they have because parts of it were a good idea.
Now, there speaks to a lot of what's happened in fast food, too, with there being the pickle ready slush at Sonic and the pickle lemonade at Popeyes, where if somehow the flavors of citrus and that sort of tangy sweetness work with the pickle. But if you think about it on a deeper level, too, bread and butter pickles are the same thing, where they've got the sweet and the vinegar, and they're obviously a polarizing flavor in the pickle world, but bread and butter pickles are good. So when these things started coming out, I was like, pickle lemonade kind of sounds weird. But I was like, if you think about the tanginess of the flavor, it gets me, it kind of gets me salivated a little bit. I'm not going to lie. And I never tried it.
I'll always say it's interesting. I'll never say it seems like a good idea. I'm just not a pickle person. So our buddy Tyler, we both write for the same site, so we've had conversations about
Sporked, so let's not undersell ourselves here.
Okay, yeah, sure. We've had conversations about not who gets what, but like I've told him, hey, like anything spicy and anything pickle, I don't want it. It's all yours.
It's a good year for that too. Spicy dill pickle everything. It's either that or Mike's Hot Honey.
Now that Mike's Hot Honey is my I can handle that level of heat. The last thing on the cotton candy. So I don't eat cotton candy anymore, and I'm above it and beyond it because it'll hurt my feelings. The asterisk to that is right now my favorite energy drink, and my favorite energy drink overall from this company, is the Ghost Bubblicious cotton candy, because it doesn't really taste like. So it's cotton candy flavored bubblegum flavored energy drink, which is too many words in a row.
A lot of layers there.
Yeah. It doesn't exactly taste like cotton candy or bubblegum, but whatever it does taste like, when they first launched it last year before, I was like, oh, that's fantastic. I want that forever. And it might be permanent. I'm actually waiting on an email to tell me for sure, because they put up an Instagram comment that was like, you're saying things like it's permanent, but it'd be really weird if it was a permanent Kroger exclusive. That's just a choice.
There are so many layers when it comes to doing this too, that you have to fish out details and be like, what's going on here? I have conflicting information. Or it goes to nationwide retailers after that.
I expect that's what it'll end up being, is like after a period of whatever months, it'll go to like GNC and Vitamin Shop. Well, it's like with the Oreo Reese's email, it was very clear in the wording, okay, this one is permanent, and then the next one, it was like, this one will return in January after the initial runs. Like,
as part of our portfolio.
For a second limited? Like, so I had to reach out and be like, hey, like, for real though? Like,
it is interesting.
For real though?
When it comes to energy drinks, this is a thought that I have with the Ghost. There are so many of them on the market now, too, between, I mean, you've had, obviously, Legacy, you've got Red Bull, you've got Monster, you've got Reign, which is also Monster. It's just so many of these ones. There are so many cult favorites. Who do you think is killing it the most now on the energy drink side?
So, Celsius is like a quiet hit. I don't know anybody who regularly like buys and drinks them, but their sales are unreal, and like they're everywhere. I think that's like a silent majority energy drink of like just adult human beings who aren't online and in my comments buy Celsius. In terms of like who's reaching like the young people, the people who are loud on the internet, it's Alani and Ghost, and nobody else is anywhere near that. Because like Red Bull and Monster, their classic flavors, their target audience from 20 years ago is still drinking them. That's no longer the target audience they want. If you went and sat in a gas station and looked at who buys a regular Monster black can green stripes, it's grown people. It is adults. It is people with like families and mortgages. And like regular, like I like classic Red Bull, but they have so many flavors now that I don't pick it up. I only ever drink a regular Red Bull when one of the Red Bull promo people hands it to me at an event and goes, have a Red Bull. And I go, well, if you insist. But Alani and Ghost are doing so much in online marketing, in insane flavors and collabs and the influencer marketing. And like, what's great is like Alani brings in like celebrities for co-branding that are almost a little out of the range of like Gen Z, but they are people that Gen Z has like come around on.
Yeah,
Like
it's
Paris
just
Hilton.
enough. Yeah.
Paris Hilton pushed Pink Slush for them. 20 years ago, Paris Hilton was a national like joke headline. Like no one had a positive thing to say about her, but people have come around. Like she's got like a home like cookware line, and she pushed Pink Slush mostly with her dog. Like they're making very good choices. And also like Alani's big because it's kind of the first energy drink that went, oh, right, women. Yeah.
Hey, women drink caffeine. We should market
What?
towards them maybe a little bit.
Wait, women have money?
Women spend money?
Caffeine works on women? What?
Crazy.
Over
50
half of the population, and the population that statistically does the grocery shopping? Wow.
That's wild. We should market towards them.
We might have something with this.
There's a lot of truth in these brands and their marketing because we've had 3 major acquisitions in the past year or so. Actually, I don't know when Ghost got picked up by Keurig Dr. Pepper.
Ghost KDP was December. It was the end of last year.
That was December. Celsius, I think, was also around that time. Got picked up by PepsiCo. Alani just got picked up by, was it also PepsiCo? Who grabbed
I think
Alani?
technically Celsius got Alani, but Pepsi got Celsius.
Did Celsius
so
buy Alani and then Pepsi bought Celsius?
Pepsi bought Poppy. I'm trying to think.
Pepsi also did buy Poppy,
yeah.
but there's been some, or Pepsi bought Alani. There's been a lot of acquisitions in the beverage space.
Yeah, there's a lot of, and like big money, like billions of dollars. Which my favorite like comparison is, I know like inflation changes numbers and stuff. Disney bought, let's say, Star Wars for $2 billion. All of Star Wars, the entire theme park movie decade. And then Celsius bought Alani for like $1.3 billion.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I'm just like doing the math, like, is that fair? I don't know how money works, but like that seems wrong.
Well, I don't know if the value of the dollars doubled in when was that? About 10 years ago that Disney bought Star Wars?
The Marvel and Star Wars acquisitions both were a while ago, and money's done things. But just like when I think of like, $1 billion deals, I'm like, oh yeah, like the giant media acquisitions. Oh, and the energy drink that makes Witch's Brew, which is really gross.
The secret to making $1 billion is to start a beverage brand. That is the moral of the story. I mean, you need to, because I've been telling you guys to do it for a hot minute. Either you or Tyler, man, somebody's got to do that shit. But I want to talk about the origin of SodaSeekers because we haven't talked about SodaSeekers enough on the podcast.
I think we've talked about it plenty.
I don't think we've actually spoken about SodaSeekers specifically in a way that makes sense, right? But you are Griffin Parker of SodaSeekers. And what is your elevator pitch for folks?
I'm very self-deprecating, so if I'm actually talking naturally about what I do, I say I have a fake internet job. If I'm giving the technical, big, scary, like, I want this person to be afraid of me a little bit, I run the largest non-alcoholic beverage-focused news page on Instagram, which gets less impressive the more asterisks you put on it. But like there are beer pages that are bigger than me, and there are pages that cover drinks. There are pages that cover drinks that are bigger than me. But if you really get down to okay, who's covering beverages that are not alcoholic, news and information like that, like it's me. That's your option. I started it in 2021 as a Twitter account because I prefer Twitter as a format, and then it caught fire and I had to stop. I moved to Instagram a couple years after that, and boy howdy, that's way better. People do not go to Twitter for information or news. They go there for shit posting. Who knew?
They go there for information and news. Doesn't mean it's the right place to go for information.
Now they go there for steak and shake memes, which is the nightmare.
Exactly. It's also a format that works really well for doing food and beverage because it's such a visual thing. If you think about product marketing in particular, especially when we're talking about something like energy drinks, right? These cans look fantastic.
They're colorful. They're shiny.
They're colorful. They're bright. They're pretty. You get a really, really crispy render and it looks great. And then your graphics in particular scratch my brain in such a good way. Something about the way you do everything with the colors and the text, and they're clean and replicable. It looks so good.
So we met up at Sweets and Snacks Expo a few months ago.
We did, yes.
And we ended up in this circle of people who do what we do. And I had no idea that my graphics were thought up of so highly until it came up, and like all of a sudden everyone's like, and then yeah, like Griffin's graphics, like, you can't even steal his stuff because like everything's consistent. Like you would know, like even before I watermarked stuff, it was just like I have been a graphic designer for over 10 years now. I never did any formal training for it, which is to say, in high school, in graphic design class, the teacher had only ever worked on Mac. So when she came to this classroom full of Windows for the first time, she didn't know what she was doing. So I ended up teaching most of the class, most of the semester. I don't know how to put why I know stuff looks good on paper. I will say M&M twins, better graphics than me. But theirs are so good and take so long that they're not able to do like, daily posts. Like I'm doing a post a day, 2 on weekends. And so like I am balancing like, okay, well I want them to look good, but also like I need them to be done. Whereas theirs, like they are downloading, themed fonts and like they're doing so much more than me. So like anytime the good thumbnail post like discussion comes up, I was like, I'm not the best. I just put out a lot. That's very different things.
You are A tier. If you want to give the twins a nod, I'd say the twins are maybe S tier when it comes to graphic design, but you are A tier, very solid. If it was a watch on your wrist, you'd be happy you were wearing it. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah. And like what's crazy is like it's not I'm using Adobe Express. Like it's a $10 a month graphic program to make all these graphics. It's not rocket science. But also, if I had to make a video, I think I would die because here's the other side of the coin, I love doing photo graphics because a photo is one frame. And I can be a perfectionist
words
about one frame. But a video is a bajillion frames. And there's so many more factors, and quality is so much more dependent on the technology and the assets you have. Like the stuff that you do, I know I have to get into doing that kind of stuff, but it's terrifying because I will not be able to be a perfectionist to the level that I am currently. And I really like the level I am currently.
With video, it's challenging in particular, too, because I put a very, very high level of detail into trying to make it as good as I can with the assets that I have. When it comes to you and you're able to manipulate all these things into a single image 100%, and then I have to worry about the green screen and all this stuff. And it's the same thing where to produce multiple of these things a day is such a challenge that I'm like, this is as good as I can get it. And I know that when it comes to comparisons, what I'm doing is aesthetically usually more pleasing than some of the other things that I've seen personally, but I'm biased because I put in a lot of effort into making my content what it is.
At Sweets and Snacks, I watched you like in a hotel room, like moving a tripod, like, okay, what with the natural light, how am I? And I'm just like, you're kind of on vacation right now. Like you're working really hard to try these gummy clusters. Okay.
Hey man, the gummy clusters need as much attention as I would give anything else on the world because their gummy clusters are the best. What would you say is the craziest thing that's happened to you as a benefit of being SodaSeekers?
Nobody's flown me to Europe. I've not done any like big trips. Too, I haven't. Well, you
I do trips. Nobody's flown me to Europe. There are brand trips where people get flown to champagne houses on like Emirates.
Well, we know people who just went on a big tour of like cheese caves in Europe. Like there's.
Yep.
I'm not there. I am involved with a nonprofit arts festival that happened a few months ago, and we're hoping to take it annually, but we'll see. We had a budget of this much to feed our volunteers for the weekend. And we were like doing our best to like figure out like how are we going to keep these people alive while they're putting on this event for, 2,000 people. Like it's work. They deserve to be fed. And the budget is limited. What can we do? The week of the event, it is Monday. The event starts on Friday. I get there Thursday for setup. I reach out to the local Pepsi distributor who I had worked with on some PR stuff and had a relationship with kind of. And I email them and say, hey, this is a huge ask and I totally understand if you can't. Is there anything you can do? And they got back to me within 12 hours We coordinated the pickup, the drop-off. A man in a big truck showed up with a dolly and wheeled in 14 12-packs of soda and 3 cases of water. Within, 4, I mean, that's, doing math, like, that's for retail, that's a lot of product. For them, like, it's nothing. But, like, I had people on my team, like, where did this come from? This wasn't in any of the, like, the documents or the planning. Like, where did this come from? And I was like, called in a work favor. I don't think that would have happened if I wasn't, Johnny Beverage news person who has relationships with people in distributor, places that I can just email. And also, like, I'm good at writing emails. I think if I have any skill on this earth, it's putting words in a row good, because I was very apologetic. Like, I know this is very late, and I'm very sorry, but could we have some? And when they said yes, they said, we're going to send you 10 cases of soft drinks and water. And I'm like,
that's
okay, so it's going to be like, it's going to be like a couple things of soda and then a bunch of water, because water's like free.
He sent you like 10 pallets.
Mostly soda. And I was like, that saved us that weekend. There were no leftovers, and it was a good spread too. Like, I was pleasantly surprised, like the full sugar, zero sugar, Mountain Dew, like it was a good mix of things. Because, like, they could have just said, like, okay, yeah, here's like a bunch of Pepsi and some Diet Pepsi, and instead somebody had thought about it, and I'm like, this is very nice. So that is the most beneficial thing, probably, is just being able to, like, summon beverages to a nonprofit event. And then, just for clout, it's really cool that I don't have to buy drinks anymore, because anytime there's a new Ghost flavor, I get a case. Anytime there's a new Red Bull flavor, I get a case. Like,
Alani drops a pack of 16 at your door, just
like,
randomly.
It's just good for budgeting. And, like, I get so much that there's no way I could eat it all. And, like, also, no individual person likes everything. So, like, Angie's Boom Chicka Pop just sent me 2, like, giant bags of their kettle corn. Like, one regular, and then they have a mango habanero that's only at Sam's Club. I don't like popcorn at all. I do not like it. I do not like the taste, the texture, the stuff that gets in your teeth.
Sorry,
just
Newman
not for
Zone.
me. But my girlfriend loves popcorn. People in my house like popcorn. Like, I now, like, anytime I go to a party, I just bring a bag of, like, hey, who wants to try some shit? Because, like,
that is the benefit, dude. Oh my god, the
that's
samples that I get in. I bring them to the
C4
parties.
champagne, C4 Energy champagne bottled an energy drink, and it's non-alcoholic, but it is champagne flavored. I took that to a party, and it was insane because the cork actually popped and almost put a dent in the ceiling, which I didn't expect because it's energy drink. Why would the cork actually work? It's paying my bills, which is nice, but, like, yeah, the social benefits of just, like, I could use my evil powers to help an event, or I can take stuff to a party and just be like, yeah, like, I know a friend of mine loves orange, always has, just her favorite thing. Like, that's her favorite flavor, her favorite aesthetic thing. Like, her whole house is orange. So, like, I got a bunch of orange stuff and she's having a dinner party. I'm just gonna bring a whole bunch of stuff and make it her problem.
You're basically the Paul Newman of soda. That's the way I see it.
If I had room in my Twitter, like my Instagram bio.
The Paul Newman of soda. I have one burning question. Being an expert in the beverage industry, which you 100% are, absolutely.
Okay.
Shaking his head. He's downplayed himself the entire day.
Feels
he
weird.
has spent downplaying what he's been capable of. What would you say? What is your hottest soda take?
I think, at large, people are trying to fit soda into their diets by making soda something else. And I don't think, from a business standpoint, that it's going to work, and I don't think from a dietary standpoint it's going to work. If you need fiber, there are pills for that. You do not need to drink Pepsi prebiotic soda to get your fiber. You can just take fiber and then drink a Pepsi. You can eat food that comes with the amount of this soda has this vitamin. This soda has prebiotic fiber. This soda is also hydration. It's got electrolytes. I think we are forgetting that soda is supposed to be a fun treat you have every once in a while and not the only thing you drink. And if you want soda to be the only thing you drink, You can do that,
Lose a
but
hell
take
of a lot of
vitamins.
weight.
Don't try to fit the things you need into your body from a can of soda.
You know what it reminds me of?
The prebiotic sodas taste bad. Anyway, go on.
No, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, where he invents the gum that has the flavors of every course of the meal in the gum, where you've got the appetizer and you've got the entree and you've got the dessert. And in a lot of ways, that does remind me of that. I see the value in it from the standpoint of you are used to soda, right? And you don't want the 58 grams of added sugar, but you want something that's kind of close. And that's where like an Olipop or a Poppy, whatever, comes in. And also where Pepsi's like, oh, we're going to do our own prebiotic soda because it's Pepsi. Someone was like, what's the point of doing that when I could just grab a Poppy, which Pepsi owns? But Pepsi's brand value, it's just forever, perpetually going to be a more recognizable logo. And if you can get that, that's a healthier version when sales are kind of going like, no. It's interesting to watch. But I get the point that you're making too, for sure, where sometimes
and nothing I say is
exist.
Business-minded. From a business standpoint, it makes total sense because the companies producing this stuff would love if the only thing anybody ever drank was their soda. So I see why the market is doing what it's doing, but from a
consumer
macro human being health quality of life scale, like I get so many emails with the word functional in the subject. I get so many emails with, oh, it's better for you. I hate the phrase better for you.
Yeah.
Because they can't say good for you because it's not, but it's better than the other stuff. It's like,
maybe.
Is that the best we can do? Like, I am no paragon of health. I do not drink. I drink 1 glass of water a week. Like, I am not anybody who should be giving health advice. But at least I know that I am, like, not doing great. That I am within. I just went to the doctor. All my numbers are fine, which pissed off my girlfriend because she's been very concerned.
How did you do this?
She's a vegetarian. She eats salad. She's an adult. She sees boxes of garbage get delivered to my door that I eat and drink. Like, she's made jokes about like, oh yeah, so like, when you move in, we got to look at your diet because like you're definitely dying. And then
Doctors
I went to
how this one soda blogger.
How did he do it? It's all the microplastics are actually like making me do an action figure. I'm going to be buried in a plastic box.
Chiseled.
So I went to Cedar Point with my girlfriend and got a crazy sunburn to the point that I went to the ER a few days later for sun poisoning, which sounded fake, did not sound like a real thing at all. Turns out it's
real. Yep.
So that same visit, they do blood tests where they say, oh yeah, all your numbers are great. My girlfriend did not like hearing me go, oh, yes, I went to the hospital because you took me outside for 1 day and I got a sunburn. But while I was there, they told me all the garbage I eat is not doing anything negatively to my body. So that's good. That was not what she wanted to hear.
So funny.
Revenge is a dish best served in a cold bottle with cane sugar. That said, Griff, the SodaSeekers, where can people find you on social media to stay up to date on all of their food and beverage news? Because you also operate Treat Citizen, for the record.
Oh, that's not going anywhere. I've been thinking about what to do with that because I realized, wow, doubling my workload turns out was not a hugely sustainable idea.
Welcome to the game, man. The snack game is intense as hell.
The Wendy's meal that like you guys were all being good kids waiting for the embargo, I find the leaked picture on Reddit and go, this would be funny. So I put it up because like, oh, there's a Frosty in it, but also like it's food. It's kind of out of the realm of stuff I normally do. Like I have not posted a lot of food over the years I've been doing this just because like I'm a drink page. It just felt weird. And now I have a place to kind of like do that and to put like in between stuff like milkshakes. I never knew whether milkshakes were food or drink, and I've just kind of given up and said they're both.
My vote is at the count for beverages.
There we go. That's we're gonna figure this out. Is a milkshake a food or a drink? The answer that I would give is it is a food. Because when I would go to a bar that allowed outside food, you could bring in a milkshake. But you could not bring in a soda.
So I need to blend pizza in a blender and then chill it down and then bring it in and
soda,
say it's a milkshake
wine,
legally.
Pizza milkshake, yes. The Van Leeuwen pizza ice cream was fantastic, and I hope they bring it back. We are trying to do an outro We cannot
It's
keep
okay.
being funny. Where can people find me? I'm sure down here at the bottom, SodaSeekers. I'm on Instagram. I also have accounts on Twitter and TikTok and Facebook. They're the Facebook auto posts the Instagram stuff. TikTok and Twitter I'm really just holding so no one steals my handle. I'll be on TikTok eventually. I'm giving up on that restraint.
Hell yeah.
And then, as mentioned earlier, I write for Sporked, which is a subsidiary of Red and Link, Mythical, that whole ecosystem.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for coming on. It was a pleasure to see you as always, and I'll talk to you in Discord in about 10 minutes.